I need a little bit of help, and I'm hoping you'll have some feedback. So let's go ahead and get started.
Welcome back, sir. All systems for gaming will be prepared in a few minutes. For now, feel free to grab a cup of coffee and have a good day.
Hey everyone, Mike here. Welcome back to the Marvel Man Cave. Today I want to talk about my 1/32nd scale car collection. I wanted to show it off a little bit, but mostly I'm kind of running out of ideas for which cars to get. And I'm hoping the community will have ideas. So I'm not going to go in any particular order. I can't say that I have my cars in any specific spot on here. Initially, I tried to keep them generally with the movie that they would be associated with, but I ran out of space pretty quickly, so that got thrown out the window. So now I usually just have them on one side of the shelf, literally off the side of the shelf here, and going from there. So I thought I would go over the cars that I have and why I decided to start collecting these. And what I'm really looking for is, please leave in the comments below what other movie themed cars should I add to my collection. I have some thoughts, so I'll go over that later after I tell you what I got. But I would love to hear what you think. What are the great classic movie cars when you think of a movie? So I'm going to start with my Batmobiles. I already showed off the one. Obviously, I have the Tumbler from the Christopher Nolan movies. I got this one. Actually, I found at the flea market, they had this one and this one. I have the Michael Keaton. This was the first one I got, the Michael Keaton Batmobile from '89. And I already had this one, and then I saw this one later at the flea market, and I'm pretty sure it came in a 3-pack with at least this one and maybe one other Batmobile. It might have been the Zack Snyder version, but I only wanted this one, and I asked the guy, thinking the answer would be no, as if he would sell it separately, and he was like, yeah, I'll sell it separately. So I was able to get the Tumbler and this one, and then I also, it's not the same scale, but I was able to find the 1966 Batmobile. This is the one I grew up with. This is, the Adam West Batman and Robin. I know the cheesy, corny version, but this is the Batman I grew up watching as a kid. So I wanted to make sure I got one of these. And to kind of start off, I collect I guess they're the 1/32nd scale. This is the size I like. They fit nice on the shelf. They're not too big, but they're also not too small. I have a couple of like the Matchbox cars or some Marvel cars and stuff like that, but I found I really prefer this scale. So I try to stick to this scale car, but that almost also limits the options of what I'm going to be able to get. So these were the few that I started with, and then I added the James Bond Aston Martin. Randomly, I literally told a buddy that I was, of the cars I was looking to add, I was like, oh, I'd love to get James Bond's classic Aston Martin, thinking I didn't even know if they made it at the time. And then again, this was another flea market find. I got this for $10, and they had it at the flea market, and actually does some operations. It doesn't work, I would say, the best, but I got to remember which buttons to push. So it has, this part pops out. There's an ejector roof. You can see, I think you can see that. There's a couple people in the car, so the roof comes out, and the one seat comes out. The guy's tied up in there. I don't know if you're going to be able to see that. And then the back is supposed to. It's got the shield in the back. Oh yeah, there it is. Got to remember which one to push. So it's like one of the bumpers push, and then that comes out. And I think that's all it does. I think so. You got the guns in the front, or no? That's, yeah, the guns are in the front. So this was pretty cool. It's not a requirement that it has action or anything like that. It's just happened. It was the scale that I was looking for, and it did that stuff as well. And then let me see what else we got. Oh, I have the DeLorean, of course. This is, I believe, I can't remember. I think this is the original Back to the Future. Yeah, it looks like it's the original Back to the Future, but the end, obviously, with Mr. Fusion at the back. This was just the first one that I saw that had this one. I would like to get the original one, and honestly, I like Back to the Future 3, but I'm trying to just stick to just one representation of each vehicle in my collection. So this was another one I added. After I added this one, I realized I needed Ecto-1. And a lot of these were Jada toys. These do, maybe this one doesn't, the doors don't open up. I thought they did, or maybe they're just stuck because I haven't opened them. But Jaded Toys makes a few of these, and so I was able to find like the 1/32 scale of these cars and add them to the collection pretty easily. And that's where I ended up getting the Jeep from Jurassic World. Got it. Says Jurassic Park on it, but this is technically the Jeep from Jurassic World because I think the original ones kind of have a different color scheme, which is the Ford Explorer from Jurassic Park. This is the original Ford Explorer from Jurassic Park. This one's another one. The doors open up. Again, that's not really the important feature to me. Like I don't need it to do stuff. I don't need it to be wound up or anything like that. So I got this one as well. And then I picked up an Optimus Prime. This is, I think, technically from Beast Wars. So not the one. I would really prefer to have Gen 1, but I was Googling and looking, and I don't think they make a Gen 1 in 1/32 scale. Ironically, I'm able to find a Gen 1 Optimus Prime, but it's a combo of Optimus Prime and Ghostbusters. So it's got the genuine, I think it's the Peterbilt Optimus Prime version, but it's got the Ecto-1 colors. So it's kind of that crossover. It's not really something I want. I really want more of the movie ones. And I figured, well, this technically is a movie representation. So I got this one. But I'm on the lookout for just a regular Gen 1 Optimus Prime. I would love to have that original chassis design. And then this is not a diecast, but my buddy sent me Hot Rod. He actually transforms. I have to look it up to actually figure out how to transform him, and I haven't done it yet. But me and my buddy were talking, and he's a big Transformers fan, and I was telling him how much I really loved the original movie, cartoon movie that I saw, and I loved Hot Rod, and he was one of my favorite Transformers. Him and Jetfire, along with Optimus Prime, were some of my favorites. And he had an extra one, so he sent me this in the mail a few weeks ago, so I added this to my collection. I started thinking about what other cars do I want to add, and one of my earliest memories was of Herbie the Love Bug, watching these movies when I was a kid, and we went to the Chicago Toy Show a few weeks ago, and I'd been looking at these on eBay, and they wanted like 20, 25, 30 bucks and more for these, and they were saying they were like the I don't know if there's a certain term for them, but when you pull them back and it goes forward. I didn't really need all that, but we found this at the King County Fairgrounds at the Chicago Toy Show, and the guy ended up taking $20 for it. This was perfect. Herbie the Love Bug, the car that I literally grew up watching, probably before I knew of race cars. This was the race car I was most familiar with as a kid. Put him right there for right now. After I got Herbie, I started thinking, I was like, what are some other cars? And then I ended up watching Ford versus Ferrari a few weeks after, well, not a few weeks after that, probably a few weeks ago now, and decided I wanted the Shelby from Le Mans. That, this is the actual Shelby Cobra that, was the first Ford to finish Le Mans. And after watching the movie, I was like, this fits with the theme because it is technically a movie car now, even though it is a real life car. And I was able to find this online. And this is one of the ones. I'll put some footage of this one and the next one I'm going to show you. It does wind back and then goes, which is kind of funny. But again, not a feature I really need. The doors open like they do. It's a pretty cool, but it's die cast. So really my requirements for these is I want it 1/32 scale, and I really want it to be die cast. Hot Rod doesn't fit into that, but that was a gift, but it does fit the scale. So I added the car from Le Mans, and then my most recent addition, which actually just came in the mail yesterday as I'm filming this, is Eleanor from Gone in 60 Seconds, the Nick Cage version. I know there's another version of that movie out, which I've never actually seen. It's probably a crime, but I really enjoy the Nick Cage version. And when I was thinking of cars to get, I was like, oh, I got to get Eleanor. It just seems fitting. And I don't know if this is technically Eleanor because I think the car in the movie has a few different additions. I think the side mirrors, which this one doesn't even have, this one has that one, but doesn't have one on the other side. And I think the front is a little bit different, but it's a close enough representation. I'm going to count it. It's not the scale, and I haven't opened it, but it's the A-Team van. I grew up watching the A-Team. I have a very fondness for this van. And this is another one. I'm not sure if they make 1/32 scale, or maybe they haven't made it in a long time, and I also try to keep it a reasonable price, knowing this is something I prefer to get them open rather than getting something that's sealed. But this is the only way I'd seen it thus far. Found it at the flea market. The guy took $5 for it. I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go ahead and get it. And honestly, I kind of intended to open it, but I haven't, and I don't know that I'm going to for no other reason other than just displays very nicely. And it's not the scale that fits the other one, so it's easier to move around. But the other one that I have is Kit from Knight Rider. This was another Jada Toys. I think I just probably got this from Target. Just another classic car when I think of my childhood. You know, probably the first car that I think when I think of my childhood is Kit from Knight Rider. So I got this one. I know they also have Car. I think it's Car. Do I have that right? The basically villain version of Kit from Knight Rider. And I haven't picked that one up because this is what I think of when I think of Knight Rider in this show. So that actually completes my car collection. I do have some die-cast ships. I have the Milano and the Benatar. I have the ship from Black Panther. I have a Quinjet. And I have those in die-cast that I got from Disneyland a few years ago. I have an X-Wing and I have a couple other Star Wars vehicles. So that's the collection of movie cars that I have now. And this is where I'm kind of looking for the community's help. What else should I add to the collection? The couple cars that I have in mind that I've been kind of rolling around is I would like to get the Ferris Bueller's Day Off, the Ferrari.
A man with priorities so far out of whack doesn't deserve such a fine automobile.
That they drive around in the movie. But the problem is I don't think it comes in 1/32 scale. I did some Google searches. I did some looking. It looks like it comes in a smaller scale, but I've never seen it in 1/32 scale. So if you know of a place I can get it, or if you know of something that would be really helpful, please drop that in the comments below. That's one. The other one that I thought would be a fun one to get is the Pizza Planet truck. Again, it's another one that I don't know if it comes in the scale that I'm looking for. I think technically I would be willing to go up to like 1/43 scale, or maybe that's down to 1/43 scale to add that one because it's close enough to what I already have that I think it would fit. And I think that's technically what this Batmobile is. So that's kind of the range, but I don't really want to go any smaller. I don't want to go Matchbox style, which is what I've seen the Ferris Bueller's Day Off car in mostly. So those are the two that I have in my mind. I've thought about whether or not I want to get the Mad Max car, things like that. The other one that I've thought about in my head is actually the RV from National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. I thought that one would just be funny to add to my collection. But when I'm thinking of these, you think of the cars as much as you think of the movie. When I think of Knight Rider, you think of Kit. When you think of Ghostbusters, you think Ecto-1. Same with the DeLorean. Batman is synonymous with the Batmobile. It's things like those kinds of movies that really kind of are the ones that I want to add to my collection. So which ones do you think I should add? Anything is open. If you think there's a cool car, I'd love to hear about it. Drop it in the comments below. And that's all I got for today. I hope everybody's having a wonderful day. If you haven't already, please hit that thumbs up. Also, please hit that subscribe button. It really helps out the channel. I think when we get to 300, which we're at 250 right now, I have some digital codes that I would like to give away. And then maybe we'll start doing some giveaways on the channel and things like that because I'm really enjoying this community that I'm building up with you guys as this channel has continued to grow. I'm really enjoying it, having a lot of fun. So I think I want to do some more things to give back to you guys for subscribing to the channel. Again, hope everybody's having a wonderful day. And don't forget, collect what you love.